Would you trade Joel Embiid for Bradley Beal?
I would trade the process. Now, I think Bradley Beal's the most underrated player in the league. I would love to get Bradley Beal in a draft pick.
Hey,
yeah. Cut the shit off, bro.
Cut the shit the fuck off.
I don't give a damn about how this kid in Europe looks. I understand he's a 6'8" point guard. He's surreal. He'll probably be the number 2 overall pick. DeAndre Ayton, there is nothing to think about. There is nothing to talk about. There is nothing to debate. There is absolutely nothing to consider. You have to take DeAndre Ayton with the number 1 overall pick.
Okay, really slow feet.
Really, that's a problem.
Paul and Devin Booker in 3 points. Under a minute to go here in the first half. Stunning. 27-point lead. Down goes Johnson. Free lead.
He struggled with quick defenders.
Defense by Giannis. Staying low elevates when Luka elevates.
Okay.
Guys defending him.
Oh, yeah, guys getting in his pocket, getting
Hey, yeah. Cut the shit off, bro. I gotta cut the shit the fuck off.
after him. Not a great
You
athlete.
don't see that, obviously.
Every night.
He shoots it like he does?
No, he don't shoot
Okay,
it like that.
Hey, cut the shit off, bro. I gotta cut the shit the fuck off.
We tend to over-sensationalize European basketball.
When Yao Ming was drafted out of China in 2002, people booed him. When Dirk Nowitzki was drafted, people including his own Dallas fans booed him as well. Yet despite this, both of these players went on to have Hall of Fame careers and leave behind impactful legacies, becoming fan favorites and franchise players. We will always remember the Dirk 2011 run for decades, remember him as one of the greatest power forwards of all time, and one who changed the game for years to come. Remember Yao Ming as a freak of nature that even put a prime Shaquille O'Neal in his place. Although international players like Dirk, Yao, and Hakeem are some of the most talented players of all time, they haven't always had the warmest of welcomes. Even today we've seen it with players like Luka Doncic, Giannis, and Jokic, at times receiving an unprecedented amount of unfair backlash, and for many times due to them being international players.
Dog Giannis. That face? To be the face of the NBA? No. Not possible for him to be the face of the NBA.
You?
Yeah, it's not possible, Selin. Why is it not possible? You can't be the face of the NBA if they can't pronounce your last name.
This is of course despite their good play. In the NBA's history to date, it's no secret that the NBA, an American league, has been dominated by, well, Americans. When the NBA began its first season, there were only 5 international players in the entire league. The beginning of the 2022 NBA season marked the 8th consecutive season that at least 100 international players were in the league, with 109. Right now in the league, there are 390 players, meaning that almost 30% of the NBA is from out of America. Hell, even my Toronto Raptors, being the only international team in the NBA, are leading an international record by having 10 international players from 9 different countries on our team. Wow. But what makes it different now is the perception of international players and how this is really only the beginning of what could be a domination of the NBA from foreign players. At a point in time, not so long ago, international players were griped with a sense of mystery and a general sense of awe. A lot of international players were and still are pushing the grain of what the NBA means, introducing new playstyles and a unique skill set that at times the NBA had not fully seen before. Hakeem had the most unique and effective post game of all time. He was a one-of-a-kind player, a talent we will probably never see again. Dirk was a pioneer of the big man, stretching the floor to the point that stretch fours are no longer even really a thing anymore. For some teams, it's almost expected for big men to have some kind of range in their arsenal. Players like Manute Bol and Yao Ming are also freaks of nature that have never been seen before from what we have thought. But now, it's really been taken to the extreme. Just look at the MVP race this season. Jokic, Embiid, and Giannis, and even some Doncic, all international players. All of them pushing and breaking the mold of what it means to be a basketball player. No one would have imagined that a 7-footer like Cat would win a literal 3-point contest. No one would have imagined running an elite offense to a 7-foot giant like Jokic. No one would have imagined a freak of nature as both a depoy and MVP caliber player like Giannis. And it's not even that these international players are breaking molds, because even players like Rudy Gobert, who in the modern era you may think is pretty ineffective with his abysmal offense, is still one of the most effective players in league history, defensively. all while utilizing a very traditional center playstyle. Ben Simmons, though he's a controversial player now, other than Magic Johnson, when have we seen an offense run through a 6'11" point guard? With the skills and talents of these players, the league continues to move into positionless basketball, where really whatever was left of our preconceived notions of position in basketball is kind of shattering. This, of course, being led by international players. When three-point shooting saw its rise in use, the league naturally moved towards more small ball lineups. We thought we saw the death of the big man, and the domination of the smaller guards seemed inevitable. Damian Lillard, James Harden, Stephen Curry, CP3, and we also saw the falling out of players like Greg Monroe, Howard, Jahlil Okafor, Joakim Noah, and for a while back when DeMarcus Cousins was the best center in the league, man, I sure do miss those days, but it sure did feel like there was a lack of center depth. But although we thought we were in the midst of a change back then, we were totally wrong now. The big man position is now stronger than ever, and in much part thanks to international talent like Kat, Jokic, Embiid, and Giannis. As the years go on, it's no secret, it won't be too long before LeBron James, Kevin Durant, and Curry eventually have to hang up their jerseys, as they're now approaching the twilight years of their career. Even PG-13 and Kawhi are respectively 32 and 31. It saddens me to say this because I'm still growing up with these players. We have to accept the fact that these new few seasons will mark a change in basketball, and that what we will soon think of the league will have a lot more international talent packed in within it, as our old stars retire. But is this a good thing? I mean, remember when Team Nigeria beat Team USA? It was low-key pretty crazy and eye-opening, especially for me and other fans. We were used to Team USA rightfully going crazy internationally and totally steamrolling everyone in their path. But Team USA, well, really got outmatched in this game. Team Nigeria simply just played better basketball that night. Now, could Team Nigeria really beat Team USA in a 7-game series, and with Team USA's best players? Hell to the no. But it still does show that basketball, at its core, it's a sport which we love. We love its simplicity, its high action, exciting gameplay. All you need is a hoop, and to have a basketball really, and you can have a great time, unlike other sports which require you to have quite some material to fully enjoy. Basketball and its simplicity, as well as its easy availability, has made it perfect for international growth. Internationally, it'll probably never rival the grip that soccer of course has in Europe and Africa, but it's still seeing growth. FIBA is growing rapidly, and international competition for basketball is getting far better. So honestly, I think it's amazing for the sport of basketball. For it to reach new international heights and expand globally, not just being confined to North America from what we originally thought. When Luka Doncic said that it was easier to score in the NBA rather than the EuroLeague, of course some of it has to be a bit of ego in there, but it's honestly probably true to a degree. As much as TV analysts and these personalities may hate these international players, they're ultimately in for a much worse ride in the coming years. Scary truth they will not admit is that not only is basketball's best talent being made in the United States, just as much as it's being made abroad. Just look at Victor Wembanyama and what his skill set and talent could mean for the league. Although at first we saw these unique talents with unique play styles like Dirk and Yao, and rightfully doubted them at first, we quickly grew to love them. Their grit, determination, motivation, discipline, and loyalty. And now, in a league which has seemingly become much more soft and disloyal, it is perhaps up to these international players to uphold the values of loyalty, staying with their team, showing sportsmanship, and truly elevating themselves to play the best basketball they can be playing. The harsh truth, well, not so harsh, but the truth is that change is happening in front of our eyes. And not only is our beloved sport of basketball being enjoyed by us, but it is making countless new fans around the globe.
Start here. Start where you are. For that, I want you to put your fist up and say, to the NBA and hoops home, you are coming. When I say NBA, you are coming, everyone say, NBA, we are coming. NBA, we are coming.
This is Baram Trikan, signing out.